If we see this scene again, someone didn't listen. Your speed, your choice, your consequence.
Speed kills, respect the limit.
And good morning to you back on this Tuesday. I was leaving home and the weatherman said, Brother Kirk, he said that take your umbrella because we may have a shower on today. But we need some rain. There's a statewide ban on burning. So we just want to advise everybody that don't be burning anything out there. And because it's extremely dry. It is. It's extremely dry.
Which is causing issues that makes us even more concerned about what's going on with our water.
Right.
The situation here. You look at Fuquay Arena trying to take water from us.
Back this morning, we have Chair of the Board of Commissioners, Kirk deViere. He's back with us again. There's a lot going on in the county. Personal family thing. I saw your wife had posted the thing of you and Gray playing chess over the weekend.
That's right. It was great. I was pretty impressed. He's really good at it. I mean, he understands it, and actually learned that in school, in public school. They were walking through chess and strategy and things like that. So he's really picked it up and played a little bit on the computer. And so we got a chessboard, and I didn't let him win.
Well, my daughter, I taught my daughter how to play, right? And so I was doing something else watching it. And she beat me one day. I said, what in the world?
You got to be careful now.
I mean, so she was on it, and I don't know if she still plays now, but that's a great. But look, have you seen the robotic chessboard? I got to show you that. Look, there's a robotic chessboard. You make a move, and it moves. And it moves pieces to the side. Oh wow! And it won't allow you to make an illegal move. And with the chess pieces standing up there, it's robotic.
Oh, wow! And
I was telling some friends about that I like that.
Do you play?
You know? Yeah, I wind up playing myself all the time. Though.
It's
and so I play online too. Yeah. I got an app on my phone.
That's what Gray's been doing. He has a little app that he plays a little bit online, and then it said let's get out the chessboard is good.
Yeah, but
one-on-one
it's
time.
A good thinking man's game. No doubt.
It's great.
It's
great. Strategy. You have to think, defensively, offensively, 2 or 3 moves. That kind of thing. So it was.
I'm a little competitive too. I was at this guy's house, and
we may have to get him to play Uncle Troy. See if he can take you down.
Yeah,
I mean, he beats you in basketball already.
He probably beat me in that too. But I like playing with a chess clock.
Oh yeah.
So I had a friend, man. He beat me, and I was like, man, he was taking him forever to make a move. And his mother-in-law, we were at his house, and she was making that macaroni and cheese, and I was more attention to that mac and cheese. I said, nah, man, look. I was mad. I was serious, man. I was
Put
mad.
You on the clock.
Because I lost my queen. Yeah. And so I went and got me a chess clock. I said, I want to play you again with the chess clock.
There you go.
He was like, he ain't played me since then. Because some people, they don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, it's because you gotta think through it quickly.
That's what you got. Right. I'm saying, look, we're going to play for an hour game or 30-minute game, however you want to set it up. Then that chess clock, you got to go.
That's right.
That's what I like.
Sounds like the clock like I put at our Board of Commissioners meeting now. I put some structure to the discussion time period so we just don't have
go on forever.
We just don't go on forever. It makes you focus your conversation.
This is true.
And if there's an important issue, of course, like we had last night, we'll continue to allow that dialogue to go in, but we want to keep it focused and moving.
You and I are a lot alike when it comes to that kind of thing. Let's boom. Let's talk about that. Because I did see that. I was watching a video, and you were holding your phone up, saying, "Look, Well,
that was before I had the clocks, because we try to be respectful. We want to give commissioners the opportunity to speak, and I never want to, restrict any kind of conversation. We need to have good dialogue as a board, but at some point, you kind of have to move forward. Everybody said what they need to say. in just being respectful, especially when you have a long agenda like we had last night. We had a very long agenda, a lot of recognitions, a lot of public comment period. We had over 12 people sign up to speak on top of, our public hearing where we did some rezoning cases and some other things that we had to do in our public hearing. And so when you have that kind of agenda, you want to keep people focused. You want to keep the dialogue moving. If you've done your homework, and you've researched the items, you can have your comments prepared, your questions prepared. And so just trying to keep some structure and some focus. Again, never restricting anything. They have a right to speak, and I want to be respectful of that, but I also want to be respectful of other people's time as well, and keep the meeting moving and keep us focused on the business of the community.
Right. Well, I think this person I saw, they repeated the same thing 5 times maybe. I was watching that. They kept, so that is being redundant, overly redundant when you're doing that.
Well, and to that point, even with our public comment period, we've got an overall time limit for public comment period, but
right.
each citizen that comes up gets 3 minutes. If we have 10 people, we have 30. I have flexibility as the chair, presiding over the meeting, to allow an extension of that time. And I believe that if people come in to speak, especially in the public comment period from the citizens, that everybody needs to be able to speak and say what they need to say. It's their house. We need to hear their voice. So.
Yeah, I believe that if people would come to meetings, though,
prepared,
focused and prepared, that 3 minutes is more than adequate time to say what you need to say.
Yeah, and even I've done the request I put, the direction I've put for the proceeding of the meeting as a chair, and I put it to a vote, of course, majority of the board, which it was unanimous. We started 5 minutes for your first kind of round of discussions and 2 minutes for follow-up. And we do try to do 2 rounds. If we can stick to 2 rounds, and we stick to 2 rounds. If we need additional time like we did last night, then you get a series of 2 minutes. And it's just try to, again, keep people focused and keep the dialogue on the issue and not, getting outside the scope of the issue. That's the other, trying to keep the meetings focused, organized, and professional.
Right. So this is April, May. The annual calendar for you guys is July 1 through June 30, correct?
Correct.
So
what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, so the departments have started their budget process. As you know, we'll approve a budget by the end of June. That's state law. We have to do that. We've already had one budget workshop to where the board could provide some input and direction to the manager to make sure we're kind of closer at the start point than further away, and so he understands what we're looking for. Things like where do we want it, where do we like to see the tax rate, what we like this to be, where do we want our capital investments to be, those types of kind of big picture things. We're going to come back on the 4th of May. The manager requested an earlier budget workshop that we'll do in early May to begin to refine that process, make sure they're going in the direction we want to go. They kind of want to do a check-in to make sure as they present before he presents his budget, to make sure it's closer to what we're anticipating, and if there's any other input from the board, that's a great time to get it before he presents his budget, so he's closer to ultimately where we would be for a final budget.
Right. So the 4th would be next Monday.
Correct. I think it's the 4th or the 8th. It may be the 4th. I think it's the 4th.
Yeah,
It's the 4th.
The 4th is next Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you guys got that. You're dealing with the budgetary stuff,
right?
But you still have stuff on your plate already.
Oh yeah, we've got a lot going on. So a lot of projects moving forward. One thing I want to point out, we continue, and we talk about this a lot with what's happening with our water and sewer and our infrastructure. Last month we had a meeting in Stedman around formation of a water and sewer district. Again, that's a planning tool that we can put in place to be able to look at resources, look at what's needed in that area, and begin to bring resources into that district to help with the infrastructure needs in that area. We are having another community meeting tonight, an information session for the Cedar Creek Water and Sewer District. That's going to happen at Savannah Missionary Baptist Church tonight at 6 p.m. It's open to the public. We did this one in Stedman. We had about 70 people there. It's an opportunity for us to give an update on what a water district is, allow some questions from the audience. It's usually about an hour, hour and a half. It has been the last one. But it's just an information session. We need to continue to educate people on what the water district is before we actually form it as a board. And again, it's just a planning tool, not a spending tool. We're not, there's not any dollars being spent, tax rates or anything like that. This is just a focus on planning for this water district to make sure we get water, clean, safe drinking water into your area, along with sewer capacity as well. So as we know, we're trying to grow the capacity. So that's happening tonight. Last night we took another step with our unhoused support center. A lot of talk about that over the years and where that progress is. So last night, the step we took since this project has started, even before I was on the board, community input on what they would look like, what the programming would be. Remember, staff paused it to reshape it a little bit to get it back in scope. From that, we got 2 schematic designs that our architect brought forward. Last night, we approved one of those schematic designs. Again, these are all community input. These were 2 that were from all the community input in the programming. And so hopefully your listening audience will see it online or in the paper. But it's a carved courtyard, so it's a good design, but gives us some facilities for men and women in kind of the way that it's configured. It was recommended by the staff, recommended by the project team, recommended by the community team that's helping us as well. And so that was done. And then we also had forward progress, continued progress on the Crown Arena and theater modernization and renovation. We had selected our project team through our RFP and RFQ process, request for proposal and request for qualifications. Last night, we finalized all 3 agreements. So we've got our agreement in place now with our architect, which is a local architect, Schuler Ferris Lindstrom, as well as our owner's rep, which is a national firm out of Raleigh, Turner, Townsend, and Harry. And then we also put a contract in place with Oakview Group, who is a group that runs the Crown Center, to help us in a consulting role. They're the operator there, and so it's important we have their input. So solidifying that project team last night through these contracts, finalizing the contracts, and then move to a pre-planning conference. Hopefully, in the next couple weeks, our county manager is working to bring that project team together to begin this pre-planning meeting, to begin to look at programming and what all we want to put in there and what needs to happen before anything's drawn, begin to look at some cost and things like that, so we can put a budget around this. So as we're designing it, we're doing that with a sense of what is it going to be programmed and where are some of those costs and where do we want to stay. So look forward to that pre-planning conference and then the results from that back to the board, hopefully in May or early June at our first work session in June.
So you talking about the facility that they broke ground on B Street?
So I talked about 2 different things. So on the unhoused.
Okay, right.
Yes,
right.
The one they broke ground on B Street. And remember, we've directed.
That was when?
2024, November 24, 25. I can't remember when we broke ground on it.
Okay, all right.
25. So the ground was
24. 24, 23.
24,
I don't know.
It was 24.
24. Okay,
yeah, it was 24.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was before we were on the board, so it was 24. But what I will say is the board is directed. Yes, that's where the ground was broken. The board has directed the management team to look at alternate sites and provide us some alternate sites. So that process is still ongoing as well, and we haven't made any decisions. But the step we took last night keeps us on a timeline. It gives us this is the final building. So anything that we're looking at for an alternate site would need to fit this design. And so we've been very deliberate about that process as well. If we look at an alternate site, But now that the school system is now looking at doing something at that school, if I'm not mistaken, on Holly Lane. So anyway, we've taken the steps we need to take to continue to move that support Unhoused Support Center forward.
Oh, wow. Well, look, it's about 28 minutes. Let's go to a break now so you won't have to break the thoughts in what we're getting ready to do. But anyway, for those tuning in, we have Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Kirk deViere, discussing county matters, and we'll be back for more following this break.